This is the Mullin Museum, and this one is the one where you have the Lady of the Lake. That's the Bugatti that was found in the lake, what, Switzerland or something like that? I don't remember reading the card, but it's all the way in the back there. Spectacular. What's funny too is that half of it's somewhat preserved because that's the half that was baked inside the mud. The part that was exposed to the water, of course, is the one that fell apart the most. But just to actually see it, and I remember seeing the documentary on TV about the Lady of the Lake too. Spectacular. And unfortunately, closes its doors tomorrow. Today is the second to last day to view all these cars because Peter Mullin passed away and the family is letting the museum go. They're, from what I hear, 4 of the vehicles are going to Peterson. Several will be auctioned off at either Meekum or Barrett Jackson, I'm not sure which. And then I believe they're going to have an auction here in the museum, but not until April. But that's what I've heard so far. This is just a spectacular collection of French vehicles in general. I mean, even the Citroëns are just beautiful. This is my style right here. This one and the Voisin, the yellow and white, the yellow and black one back there, and the red and black here, just the color combinations, mwah, love it. I mean, just imagine sitting behind the wheel of that thing, looking out over that long hood while cruising the PCH or something. Unbelievable. And you can see behind it too, they have the mold where they actually were able to shape the metal over so they knew to get the contours right and everything. Just beautiful. And you can see it too in the brushwork of the metal. It's just all just perfectly straight, minus a couple of scratches on there, but just, it has a flow to it. And the grain of the metal just flows. Absolutely spectacular. The 31 Citroën looks a lot like the 31 Ford. These look a lot like the Model A's that came out from 28 to 31. These are the daily drivers. What amazed me, as I noticed, is, yeah, of course cars break down and, you know, you have the old windshields that were not safety glass, they were just 2 pieces of glass with laminate in between. It looks like this laminate broke down quite a bit here. Can't see out of that windshield if you tried. I would be proud to have something like this in my collection, even in this condition, just because of what they are. Just gorgeous. I mean, yeah. Similar to the Model A, you know, in look and style, but the differences now, I mean, nowadays, every car, I don't care if it's American, foreign, Japanese, European, whatever, they all look the same. There's no character to them. Not unless you get to the really high-end cars, which are out of my price range, but they all look the same otherwise. There's no character. Back in the day, these cars had character. I don't know, there's just something about these old classics that just, that's what tugs at my heartstrings. And with the amount of metal they use in these cars, you could build 3 modern cars. This museum is great too. They have such a great display. It's nice and simple. They have a nice upstairs with all the race cars too, which is really nice. I guess I'm a sucker for the yellow and black paint scheme because it just pulls my eyes. Just love that. The orange on this one reminds me of the older Harley Davidson orange when they had the orange and black motorcycles. Now that's aerodynamics. 37 Delahaye, how beautiful. This Voisin doesn't look like all the others. This one's so much more boxy than most of them as compared to the teardrop style of the other ones we saw earlier. And you know, remember on some of the cars like the 64 to 66 Lincoln Continentals, they had front and back doors, but the back doors open suicide. These, the hinges are in the same place, so they open opposite of suicide. Is that matricide, or what would you call that when doors open this way? Wow. And of course, with the 3 headlights in the front, very reminiscent of the 1947 Tucker. but this came out 9 years before that. It's like a combination mix of a Tucker, a Volkswagen, and a Porsche all in one, but on the Tuckers though, his headlight turned with the steering wheel, so you could see where you were going as you were making a turn while driving. This one I'm sure is pretty stationary and does not do that, but still cool to have the 3 headlights. Just reminds me of the Tucker, even though this was first. So glad we got the opportunity to see this before it closes and to be able to do it as a group with the car club. Everybody's just having a great time. We put a cap on this event for 30 people and we reached it within 12 hours. So it's a great hit that we were able to do this on this day. And then officially the museum closes tomorrow after it's open for its normal business hours, then it's closing its doors forever. It looks like a Volkswagen in the front, but then you got 3 headlights like the Tucker, which didn't come out till 9 years later.
That's the first thing I saw, and it doesn't move though with a
no, not like the Tuckers did. No, and this is 9 years prior to that. Besides, but I love the tail fin in the back too, the dorsal fin as they call it. It is beautiful.
Because the paint here is already amazing. I'm so honored to be able to be here with the club. Thank you for the club.
Oh yeah.
Here. Because I wouldn't have been here otherwise. It's closing tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Tomorrow's the last day, and I'm glad that we were able to do this and pull it together on such short notice too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
yeah.
And because initially when I found out when it was closing, I checked with the museum, and even though the website said they were open Friday and Saturday for the 3 weeks prior, they weren't. Today and tomorrow, and that's it.
Wow. Again, the collection, I was very excited to see also the Bugatti.
The lady is amazing. They really go into the detail on it, on how they found it, how they took it out, and of course, not to do anything with it.
And it's a nice opportunity a lot of people don't get. I know there's some great museums around the country. Maybe get together and do some.
We are. We do have plans for others too. Yeah. In my opinion, there's 3 things that bring people together throughout the world: food, music, and cars.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And usually they all go together too.
Yeah, okay, what's lunch today?
Here represent an era,
right? Yeah.
And there's a similarity in grille, lights, and things like that, although each one is an individually designed automobile.
Oh, yes.
This one stands by itself.
Yeah.
Almost looks like an Aston Martin to a degree, right?
And but almost too new.
Yeah. Okay.
Compared to the others.
The one over there is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But I'll show you the 2 that I actually really like. Other than, of course, the Delahaye over there.
Yeah, I know. My favorite one is the Voisin, the yellow and black one.
That's what I'm going out to.
And that's the one, because I'm particular to the black and yellow color combination. It just, something about it just pops.
The yellow. Oh, you want to talk about the yellow? The
yellow and black.
One.
Yeah, the second one in. The color combination just pops. And to me, that just goes, wow. But the other one you were referring to with the roof that slides back on the track. And did you notice the roof actually still has windows in it? So when you slide it down over the back windshield, you can still see out of it.
Duesenberg never made really bodies. They're all coach builders.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Inskip and Murphy Pasadena.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Look how much of a Duesenberg 220 horsepower versus 265 on a Duesenberg.
And a V12 too.
And a Duesenberg is an inline 6.
Yep.
But this is quite nice.
Oh yeah.
But if we can take it from this, but let's be sure. Let's go with it.
Okay.
This one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love how they put 2 spare tires on the car.
In the back,
Yeah.
there's something that you don't ever see.
And look at the slope of the windshield.
That's the point. That is the point.
I like how the windshield wipers are literally tied together too, which is something you never see. It's, I guess, to ensure...
they do tie them, but the tie is internal.
Yeah, but I mean, just to keep them at the same spacing.
Because there's one motor.
Remember the old Model A's where you had to do it by hand?
But exactly, some of them are vacuum. But this one may have electric motor, maybe, or something, but they both synchronized, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but look at this, no?
And you notice the wheels too. Reminds you of those old like hurricane-style mag wheels from the 60s and 70s.
Right.
With the slots in the wheels, like it has that.
It has much
reminds
more
you of that.
modern wheels.
Exactly. Than you would think of. Right.
It's
totally.
the only car, by the way, here in the museum without that. What do you call it? Black.
Yeah.
The only one. Look, each one has a story in front of it. That's the only one that doesn't have it, for some reason.
Huh. There is no placard, huh?
Brakes here are mechanical. I've heard the story.
I can see the cables, yeah.
I don't know who was the person, but objected to hydraulic brakes, even though this
Really?
Yes. Thought unsafe, the hydraulic will burst, the car will not stop. So see, mechanical brakes on this big car.
Wow.
While Duesenberg was already doing hydraulic.
Yeah.
Yes. In 1928.
Wow.
What year is this? I don't remember. We'll go ask.
Yeah, this one we'd have to ask.
That's it. Now, you want to go upstairs? I'll show you.
Sound good? All right, let's do it.
Although different, so I like variety.
Yeah.
Different era, different years and things like that. Kind of like
your collection is
eclectic.
Of all over the place too.
Exactly, yes.
I know, for me, basically, I like American cars from the 50s, 30s, 40s, 20s, all that stuff. That's my style, but I still have a love and appreciation for all cars. And then when you see things like this, I mean, these are historical. This is amazing.
Yeah. Like, we wouldn't think it's the most valuable thing. It's not in the million or anything like it.
Yeah.
See, a car, modern car ahead of its time.
You're referring to the Citroen?
This one.
Oh, yeah.
This and this. In some of the designs and engineering of car, some people said this is a breakthrough in design of automobile.
And weren't they like a unibody style?
That I do not know if they were.
Because I think they were somewhat like waterproof, like almost like they could float, like the Volkswagen Beetles were designed initially. That kind of style.
You mean they're all closed underneath?
Yes.
Yes, but I think water will go through it. But look,
so they're not going to float.
Suspension on
I heard about those where if you get a flat tire, the suspension compensates for it and the car stays level, so you don't actually have to change the tire. Not right away, anyway.
No, not exactly.
Okay, what?
Okay, so I'll give you the story exactly.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, to drive on a wheel that has a flat tire,
yeah.
and the tire is this, it's not the greatest idea.
Right, of course.
So now let's just say that you don't have a spare tire.
Yeah.
Okay, now you want to get to somewhere to repair it. Mm-hmm. This car will ride on 3 wheels only, but you can only take out one of the rear and not one of the front.
Oh.
So the way it works is you elevate the car to maximum. There's a lever that we cannot open the door. There's a lever here. The whole car goes really high. Okay.
Really?
There's no jack to replace a wheel on this thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Anyway, the idea is the car goes up and it can go up probably to this height.
Wow.
From here to here.
That's a big difference.
You put a stand in here and then you suck the wheels back up.
Oh.
So now the stand is holding the car in the center of gravity in the middle, so it doesn't do this.
Yeah.
This wheel goes off the ground. This wheel goes off the ground. You can take this wheel out, leave the car at its maximum height, and drive on 3 wheels. The hub here is high enough off the ground, but now you don't have suspension. Yeah.
But you can drive somewhere to get your tire fixed.
Okay, so the thing is because of taxes in France, then they did not produce big size motors.
Okay.
This one is like can be a 2.1 liter, maybe 2.4.
Sure.
Okay, so the French never had like the American
Yeah.
5 liter, 8 liter,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And because the government will tax you based on the size of the engine.
Wow.
So, but then the cars were not fast enough. So Citroën wanted more of a car that would go faster.
Yeah.
Okay, but they didn't have the motor to do it.
Sure.
Okay, so they went to Maserati. You know about this car? Okay.
That one I heard about, but I didn't realize they
loved it.
connected with them.
Maserati was in trouble.
Yeah.
So they purchased Maserati, and Maserati had a V8 motor.
Wow.
Which was really good that Citroën liked, and they wanted to put a V8 Maserati motor in it. They found out they can fit the motor in it.
Wow.
So they cut 2 cylinders out of the motor and still kept the same angle of the V8, which is wrong for a V6.
Oh
So
my
this
gosh.
one is, you see, Citroën
Yeah.
SM. M for Maserati.
Oh wow.
Now, look at the aerodynamic of this car. This is a 1973.
Yeah.
This car won Car of the Year in United States in 1973.
Wow.
Or 1972, I think so. And then the government changed the laws, remember, of the 5 miles per hour, the seatbelt, all that
bumper.
stuff, and all that
Yeah.
changed. And maybe, I don't know if it was implemented in 74 or so.
Right.
These cars were not qualified and did not pass the new standards of the
Of course
US
they
market.
didn't.
So even though they won the best car,
Yeah.
the French said, you know what, screw it, now we can sell these cars in the United States. So they stopped selling them.
Wow.
This is a US car, you can tell,
Okay.
because look at the headlights. You see? So the DOT said, you see these are not the original French headlights the way they were for the car. I had the original one.
Okay.
Okay, the original one has 3 headlights here.
Really?
Yes. And the third one in the middle swivels. Turns
With the steering.
With the steering.
Oh,
Illegal in
man.
the US in 74. Look at this one. Now this one, look at the headlights. Swivel.
Oh yeah,
You see?
I can see that.
Okay, see this one?
Yeah.
These lights here turn with the wheels.
Right. Okay.
Interesting.
It doesn't look like too that they're not going to shine forward very much because they're kind of
They get a
hidden
little
by
bit
heart of
blocked
it.
by that.
But for turning, they come in
so
perfect.
as you turn this direction,
Yeah.
when I'm driving on high beam and I turn it, this light now
Will light up
points
the
this
road
direction.
where you're going to
When
go.
going- This one is actually pointing into this and does nothing.
Yeah.
At that point.
Right. Of course.
You know? But look at it. So this specific car may be a non-US car which was imported.
Right,
because I
right,
think
right.
some of them had US insert headlights.
Normal, non-move.
Normal,
They wouldn't
like
move.
these.
Right.
They
Exactly.
put
Stationary.
these stationary.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah.
The Tatra, that's
Tatra-
1938. That's long before Tucker came with the thing.
Center light, it doesn't turn.
But it doesn't turn.
Duesenberg had some lights that turn. You know, 2 big lights and 2 what they call trip lights.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know what that stands for.
Yeah.
But those lights which sit in front of the radiator
Yeah.
will actually, in some Duesenberg, turn.
And that was early 30s, right? For the Duesenbergs?
All Duesenbergs are 28.
20s, 28.
No. Duesenberg is interesting because the Duesenberg were 28, all of them.
Oh.
But the bodies were constructed over a period
Of time.
all the way to 37.
Okay, that's what it is.
So they titled them based on body completion and not chassis motor.
Ah.
1929,
Uh-huh.
the Depression is what stopped a production.
Yeah, I understand
of
that.
More. So they made 400 in 28.
Wow.
And they just couldn't sell them because the car was about 5 times the cost of an average house in the United States then. But they didn't want to be shown, to be seen on the road with a car that costs more than 5 times this because people didn't have money for food.
Exactly.
So they were kept in garages.
Man. Amazing.
That's a Duesenberg story.
It's fantastic.
Still considered probably one of the best automobile in the United States.
They are beautiful.
Right?
Yeah. No question.
Okay, I'm talking too much. I'm not letting you.
No,
say
this is
things.
great. Are you kidding? This is beautiful.
Okay.
And so what do you think about our event today? Yeah, with the club putting it on and
It's
being
very
able
nice.
to be able to get everybody in here. Yeah, the museum, we just found out was closing a couple weeks ago. So when we found out, we had to put something together real quick. And they were only open 2 days, today and tomorrow.
Then that's it.
And that's it. And initially, they weren't going to open today at all, but they had so many inquiries that they decided that they had to let the car clubs in that were inquiring about it. And that's how we were able to get in.
I don't really understand they open and not open and all that stuff.
Well, this place was always open Fridays and Saturdays only.
I know.
I mean, it's
The
not
guy
very
said
much,
they would
but
get only 35 people, and maybe that's the reason why they never open them 5 times.
That
Besides,
could be,
it's in
yeah.
Oxnard. Oxnard is a little bit,
Out of the way.
If you're a tourist in Los Angeles,
Exactly.
you go to the Peterson,
Yeah, right,
or to
right.
the Nethercott or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
But this is amazing. The collection of cars
Absolutely.
here. I mean, we're talking about unbelievable collection.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every car here is a Pebble Beach car,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, just spectacular.
What do you think? You've been here before?
Yes, I have actually. I worked here with my brother-in-law. He photographed all the Bugattis for the Art of Bugatti book that they have for sale over there.
Oh, really?
He did all the photos for the Voisin, for their online catalog, and I worked with him when we photographed all the horse-drawn carriages, which are in the warehouse in the back.
Oh,
And we were here for that.
yeah?
Yeah.
They have steam cars here too?
No, there weren't steam cars, but they were just horse-drawn carriages.
Oh, I
Just no horses.
No.
0 horsepower. Well, I'm glad you got to join us today.
What's your favorite?
My favorite would have to be the Voisin, the yellow and black one. I also like the red and black one here too, but I love colors that
Oh, you
pop.
like color.
Beautiful nonetheless.
Right?
Still great.
All right. Thank you for the invitation.
You're very welcome,
It's really
Adi.
a pleasure. I always want to come here.
glad you got to make it
and
too.
and I never made it here.
Well, you did today.
and I did today.
I'm so glad you were able to make it and join us, man. It really
Thank you so
is
much.
very, very great. You're very welcome. I'm happy we could oblige. Okay, that's good then, and that's
The
okay.
city of attorney almost killed me.
Oh,
I had
really?
a heart attack, yeah?
No.
Stress.
Really?
You live in the city of Los Angeles?
No, I'm right near you in Woodland Hills.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how the city is.
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
They're a bunch
Yeah.
of gangsters,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All-
Uh-huh.
Oh, we get it on tape.
Yeah.
Right? No, seriously.
It is.
They act like that.
Yeah.
They do. You know? And it becomes a problem. It's not Ventura County. It's not Montana. It's not Nevada, you know, and things like that,
Yeah.
where government is a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Just get
Los
too
Angeles
lax
is
here.
one of the most difficult city,
Yeah.
you know, with all this red tape and building inspector and the, you know, all the rules. You know, Malibu may not be simple to build.
No, it's
either.
not. Definitely not. I
Right,
know
no.
people that used to live there, and they're like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
difficult. But
It
no,
is,
Los
it is.
Angeles is hard.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so
know.
they almost killed me. Well, I end up in a
Yeah,
with an
that's-
ambulance.
yeah, that's
in
kinda like for
ER,
real.
With a heart attack, and they didn't know if I will make it or not.
Holy crap.
And all because of stress about some hearing about a dog that I won. The
Oh
hearing.
my gosh.
But it affected me so much.
Yeah. You doing okay now, I hope? I mean, you look great, you sound great, so
Well,
success.
Here's the thing about that stuff. That's fixable
Yeah.
in 45 minutes. It's not like cancer, things like that.
Right.
Chemotherapy and
Uh-huh.
this. We go in here, let's see where the thing is.
Yeah.
We clean it up. It's like you're like cleaning fuel injection in a car. Right? I clean it up, I open this, let's see if there's a good flow.
Yeah.
You're looking on this and
Yeah. Okay, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
See you. Pretty much.
Spectacular.
Okay.
ID,
All right,
it's such
see
a
you later.
pleasure to see you again.
Okay,
Thanks so
same
much
here.
for coming out.
Okay.
All righty.